So the game we're playing is Shamrocks, and this is another open packer. So back to my bread and butter. That means all of the cards are going to be face up from the beginning, and we can plan all our moves ahead of time without any uncertainty about what's going to come, or face down cards throwing a wrench in the mix. So it makes for a more strategic game. This game in particular seems to have a very high win rate, so I'm expecting that we should win at least a few. It's also a pretty quick game, so rather than doing the standard 3 games, we can probably get in maybe 4 or 5. We'll see. I don't want the video to be too long though, because I realize that the videos I've been uploading have just been getting longer and longer, and that wasn't my intention. Actually, the original intention today was to do a special video that I've been planning, but that video is actually going to be even longer than any of the videos I made, so I thought it would be better to just do a normal length video first, and then we can do that next video. So, for today, we're doing Shamrocks. So this is another one of the early games that I discovered shortly after getting really into Solitaire. And similar to Algerian Patience, I got interested in it because it was fairly easy to win. Okay, let's just do one more shuffle, and then we'll deal out the first game, and I'll explain the rules. This is a pretty simple one to understand, I think. So this is a game where the cards are dealt out in what are called fans. And a fan is just a special term for a pile of cards. Mechanically, it's just a normal pile of cards. However, it's usually used to specifically refer to a pile of 3 cards dealt horizontally. Now, it's not always the case. Sometimes it can be more than 3 cards. It doesn't have to be, but it's usually 3. And if you play basically any computer version of Solitaire, they're gonna have the fans dealt out like this, side by side. But if you look at old books and diagrams and things like that, you'll see that they instead deal it out more like this, in a fan shape, which I think is more visually appealing. So we're going to be doing the fan shape today. So to set up the tableau, you want to deal 18 fans. All of them are going to have 3 cards each, except for the last one, which will only have a single card. So the first thing we do is, like in Baker's Dozen, we need to find all the kings and move them to the bottom, except hilariously in this first deal, all the kings ended up on the bottom anyways, so we actually don't have to do anything. Now, the goal of the game is to move all the cards to the foundation, which is going to be over here. The foundations are built up from ace to king in suit. So you would start with an ace of spades, then you would put a 2 of spades, and then a 3 of spades, and you would go all the way up to king. And you want to repeat that for all 4 suits. So by the end of the game, you should have 4 piles of 13 cards each. On the tableau, cards are moved in ascending or descending sequence. So you can take the top pile of any card and move it onto any other card that is 1 rank higher or 1 rank lower than the card being situations at the start. For example, if none of your aces start on top of their piles, and you don't have any cards that can be moved onto the single card, then the game is just blocked. And you can just reshuffle if that happens if you want, or I read some good advice in a book that talked about this game, and they said that if this happens where, you know, you get a shuffle where you can't make any moves at the start, just pick one of the aces and just move it to the top of its pile. Like, sure, it's technically cheating, but, like, what's the alternative? Just reshuffling the whole deck and dealing again. Just move an ace to the top, play it like that. Now you can only move one card at a time, and if you empty out one of these piles, the empty space cannot be filled. So once a pile is gone, that pile is out of play and no more cards can be moved there. That's pretty much it for the rules. Like I said, this is a simple game, so let's get started. And the first thing we're gonna do is take this ace and move it to the foundation. Now our other aces are here, here, and where's the last one? Here. Now our open spaces are here on this 5 and here on this jack. So we need a 10, a 9, a 6, or a 4. Now we can move this 4 to here, but then we're stuck with this jack and we don't have anywhere for that, so we won't be able to get to the ace that way. We'll need to do something else. Here's something we could do. We can move the 5 to the 4, this 10 to the jack, and then the jack onto the 10, because remember, you can go up or down, so a jack can be placed on a 10. So let's do that. We'll move the 4 here, this 10 can be moved here. That also frees the 2, so once we get the ace of hearts, we can take that, and then we can move the jack here and take our ace. Now the ace of hearts is right here, blocked by a 3. We can move that 3 onto the 2 and grab our ace. Now I am seeing a bit of a problem, which is that the ace of spades is locked under this 2 of spades. We need to find somewhere to move this, but I'm not really seeing anything immediately. It's possible I may have blocked myself already. Okay, I think I see a line we can do. We can move this 9 to here, this 6 can go here, this 7 can go here, and then the 2 can go here, and now we can take the ace. We can also take this 2 and this 2. The 2 of hearts is still locked behind this 3 of clubs. Where's the 2 of clubs? It's right here, behind a queen. So we need to free one of our kings, so we can move this queen. Unfortunately, one of the kings is under the queen, so we can't use that one. It has to be this one, or this one. Okay, I think I've got an idea. So we're going to take this 3, 4, and 5, and move them to the foundation. We'll move this 7 here, and then this 9 can be moved here. Now we can move the queen to the king and take our 2 of clubs. Nice. Alright, let's see how we continue from here. We can take the 3 of clubs and the 2 of hearts. Now I think I want to take the 3 of hearts. Then I want to move the jack to here, this 8 to here, then take the 4 of hearts, the 5 of hearts. Now I don't want to stack, you don't want to go too far ahead on one foundation, because every time you move a card to the foundation, you're taking one potential space away from the other cards. So you want to kind of try to keep them all even. Let's see if we can build these diamonds up. I see a line right now. We can move this jack to here, move this 5, take this 3. Now we need this. We can move the 7 to here, take the 4. Now we need to get to this 5, but the 6 is on top, so we move the 6 over here. Then we can take the 5 and the 6. Now let's get caught up on those clubs because they're starting to fall behind. We can move one of the kings, or sorry, one of the queens. We can take, let's move the 10 to this jack, grab our 4 and our 5. Let's take the 6 and 7 of spades to free the 6 of hearts and clubs. Now we can take the 7, 8, and 9 of hearts. We can take the 7 and 8 of clubs. still kind of fumbling with my cards because I'm trying to reach around the microphone. I haven't quite got used to it yet. This is only my second time recording a video with the microphone, so... But yeah, that is Shamrocks. That's what it looks like. We're obviously not going to stop there. We're going to continue playing more. And we've got the spades, ace to king, and the hearts, the clubs, and the diamonds. Alright, let's start shuffling for another game. So this casino deck is pretty nice. The only real problem I have with it is that the backs are very slippery, which I think is on purpose. But for Solitaire it can be a bit annoying, because sometimes your cards just slide around when you want them to stay in place. I'm pretty sure that's, like I said, I think that's on purpose, because in casinos they actually, you know, it's ideal that the cards are slidey like that. But in Solitaire, it's a little bit annoying. And I briefly mentioned it, but I didn't really explain why. The larger faces on the cards can actually be kind of annoying for Solitaire, because it means in games where you stack vertically, the cards have to be further away from each other in order to see both the rank and the suit. So you can quickly run out of space if you're playing something that requires you to vertically stack your cards. But Shamrocks doesn't have that problem, because we stack horizontally in Shamrocks. So we're all good. Alright, let's do one more and we'll get into game 2. Alright. I think I'm taking up too much space with these fans. I'm gonna run out. That is the thing with the fans, is that they kind of take up more space. So you have to be careful when you're dealing them to not make them too wide. Whoops. So we're gonna actually have to move some kings this time. They didn't all start on the bottom. That was crazy. I don't know if I've had that happen before. I usually have like 2 or 3 maybe on the bottom, but never all 4 like that. Okay, so now we move the kings. Just like Baker's Dozen. If you've seen my video on Baker's Dozen, or if you've played it yourself. And for the same reason, I think. Or similar reasons, at least. Alright, let's begin. We'll take this ace. Now our other aces are here, here, and here. So which one do we want to go for first? Well, we can easily just move this 9 to the 10 and take this one. Now we've got a 3 blocking this one, and this one's being blocked by 2 7s. We could move this 8 to here and move one of the 7s over, but we still need to move the other 7, and I don't think we have a way to do that right now. Oh wait, I think I see what we could do. Let's actually move this 8, not the 8 of diamonds. We've got a 5 of diamonds here, and generally you want to avoid putting higher ranked cards on top of lower ranked cards of the same suit. So instead of putting the 8 of diamonds on top of the 5, we're going to put the 8 of hearts this out wrong. I forgot we were not going to have room for another card here. So we actually do have a little bit of a problem. We don't have anywhere for the 7. Let's see if we can work this out. Our open spaces are this queen, so we can put a jack there, into this 7, so we can put a 6 or an 8 there. So let's look for opportunities involving jacks, 6s, and 8s. One thing I am seeing, I don't know, actually, this might help us a bit. Let's try it. We can move this 6 to the 7, this 3 to the 4, and grab this ace. We can move this 2 to the foundation, and that opens up this jack, which we can move here. And now we can move one of these annoying queens if we want to. That doesn't really help us get to this ace, but it is good to have that opportunity open. I'm not going to move one of them quite yet because I don't know which one is going to be the better choice, so I'm going to wait. Actually, I think I'm not going to do either of these queens. I think I might end up doing this queen because we can actually move this to the foundation. If we move that queen, we get the 2, but is that actually useful? I don't think so because the 3 of spades is locked behind that queen. So we're going to need to get another king open. I think we should go back to focusing on this ace. I think I kind of lost the plot a little bit. Focus on the ace. Oh, we can get another king here, actually. So if we do need to move another queen, we can do that. But the ace, that's what we want. Let's do this. We'll move this queen, put the 7 here, grab the ace. Then we'll move this queen, take the 2. And now, what do we want to do now? We can take this 2 now that we have the ace. Let's take this 3 as well, and this 4. Now we can move this. I don't want to move the 9 actually on top of the 8. Well, I mean, we could move the 9 on top of the 8 if we had another place to move it, but I want to make sure we have another place to move it before we go ahead and make that move. Let's do this. No, that's not going to work. Not that 8, because then we run into the same problem. I want to get to this. Let's just do this for now, and I'm just going to hope that another opportunity to move that 9 off shows up somewhere. So we'll move the queen. The 6 can go here, take the 3. We can take the 4 and 5 too, but I don't know if we want to do that quite yet. Let's move the 7 of hearts here. We'll stack up the 3 and the 4 for both the clubs and the spades. I think I want to do this. We can take the 4 and the 5 of hearts. The 5 of diamonds is locked in here. We might need to move some stuff to the foundation to make places for us to move this 8 and 9. I think I want to do this. Move the 6 and 7 of spades to the foundation. Then we move the 7 to here. Take the 6 of hearts, the 7 of hearts. Now. Okay. I don't think I actually planned that out very well. We still don't have a way to get to the 5. Well, we can take the 8 to the foundation now. Oh, these are all blocked by diamonds, which we can't move to the foundation. I think we might have actually lost. I think I made some careless moves, and now it's over. Which can happen if you're not careful. I'm just gonna try some moves and see if they go anywhere. Does that change the situation at all? Oh, got it. 8 to here, 9 to 10, take the 5. And, uh-oh, this 6 is still blocked here, uh-oh. I think we might have lost this one. I think I made a mistake by letting this 7 get still have to get rid of this 9 to get to the 8. We still have to get rid of this 7 to get to the 6, and I don't see any way of doing that. So I think I blew this one. This was definitely winnable. I'm sure of it. I just made some careless mistakes, which happens if you're not careful in this game. So that's a shame, but it's fine. We'll just win the next one. Alright. Let's shuffle again. I'm not very good at handling these casino cards. They're very slippery. So like I said, the original plan for the next video was to do something special, which I'm still planning to do. And that one's going to be much longer. Probably like an hour and a half, maybe. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm going to keep making super long videos all the time. The Algerian Patience one was long just because that's a 2-deck game, so when I play 2-deck games, they're probably going to be pretty long, but the standard videos are probably going to be like 30 to 50 minutes. That's the plan anyways, but if I'm having a good time, I just want to keep playing. I might make them longer. You know, it's all up. I'm kind of just going with the flow with this whole YouTube thing, doing whatever I feel like. And thanks to the people who've left some nice comments so far. I really appreciate it. And yeah, again, let me know if there's any games you'd like to see me play, or if you'd like to see me revisit one of the games I played earlier. Not every new video needs to be a different game. I can go back and do games I've already played. If you want to see more Baker's Dozen or Bleaker's Castle, I'm definitely willing to play one of those again. Alright, let's get ready for game number 3. Mic stand. One that maybe hangs above me instead of being right in front of me that I have to reach around to play the game. Okay. So now we move the kings. Okay, let's start by moving this ace to the foundation. I kind of ended up taking more space. I hope the aces aren't out of frame. Let's move this 6 here. Take these 2 aces as well. So we've already got 3 of our aces. That's pretty good. Pretty easy start so far. Last one's over here. And the 3 of hearts is on top of it, so we're going to have to move that somewhere. We can move this to the foundation. Any other easy 2s? This one's behind a jack. Okay, let's do move this 9 to here, 6 to the 5, 4 to the 3, and then the jack can use the 2 of hearts, but we still need to move that 3 of hearts somewhere. Let's move it onto this 4. So as soon as we get the 2 of hearts, we can take those as well. Now we need to get that 9 somewhere, though. Okay, I think I've got a plan. Super inconvenient spots. This one's on the bottom. These 2 are both under jacks, which is basically what you want. Let's see if there's anything else we want to do. I think we probably want to take these hearts. We still need to get to here though, and we also need to get to the 3 of clubs. So let's be careful not to make any dumb mistakes like last time. I think I'm going to move this 6 here. Take this. And we can take these hearts. This 4 can go here. Okay, so I think I want to do this. Now we can take the 4. We can take the 6 and the 5. This 6 can go to the foundation. And now we can get to the 5 and 6 of clubs. Let's move this 9 out of the way. Now we can take the 7, 8, and 9. This one looks like we have 1. But we still want to be careful just so I don't make any dumb moves that end up losing. Because the thing about these games where you can't fill the empty piles is that it's really easy to make a careless mistake that loses the game right when victory is in your grasp. So you want to be careful. That's how you get yourself in some bad situations. So always remember to be careful and not get too autopilot-y. It is a really fun game, though. I'm a big fan of this one. And it is very winnable, as long as you're careful. Alright, let's deal our final game of Shamrocks. or something, they always mention that thing that I said at the start, where it's possible to get an unwinnable shuffle. And even though that is always mentioned, it's never happened to me, even though I've played this game like over 30 times. So I'm curious why it gets mentioned so much. I guess just because it's a possibility. I'm kind of hoping it happens because I've never seen it. I wouldn't even be mad. I just want to see it happen. Well, it looks like we've got no aces on top, so maybe that will happen. One of our aces is in the empty space. You actually don't want to see that. Okay, we can... Oh, first we gotta move the kings, of course. Almost forgot. Okay, is that all of them? It looks like it. The other one was on the bottom already. This one. Okay, so we'll play this, and this 2 and 3 can go, so that'll open up some more options. Now we need this ace, and this ace. Now we could move this 4 here to take this ace. What about this 7? Is there somewhere we could put that? Well, let's just grab this ace right now. We can move the queen to here, and then the 7 to the 8. Now, I'd like that too, but we'll have to wait on it. Let's instead focus on getting this queen out of the way. Where are our kings? Oh, well, one of our kings is here. Maybe we should focus on this pile. So we need to get a 7. We need a 7 that we can move to, or a 5, I guess. So let's look for a 7 in the middle spot, or 7 or a 5 in the middle spot. We've got a 5 in the middle spot right here. So maybe we can move this 10 to here, and then the 6 to the 5, 2 to the foundation. That opens up the king. We can move the queen to the king and then take the ace. Let's do that. Alright. We've got all our aces. That's good. Now how about the 2s? Where's the 2 of hearts? It's right here. We can move this 6. This looks like a pretty safe move to make. I'll take the 3 as well. Where's the 2 of clubs? It's up here. Okay. So we need another 7 or 5. Looking for a 7 or 5 in the middle or back spot. Let's do this. We'll move the 4 here. I'm going to move this 5 over to this 4, and then we'll move the 6 to it. make sure we're not going to get stuck. We could take the 4, because we can take this 4 to get the 3, and then we can take the 4 of diamonds. Where's the 5 of spades? It's here. Are we going to be able to get to the 6 of diamonds? Let's just make all these moves before I forget. We'll take the 6, the 5, the 4, and then the 3 and 4 of diamonds. Now the 5 spades is here. I think I want to do this, but the 8 is still in the way. I think I may have done exactly what I just said and played myself into a corner. I might actually have an idea. Let's try it. Okay. Alright. Now things seem to be going pretty well, but let's just be careful and make sure I don't blow it right at the end. No, I think we won. This 9 behind the queen is a little weird, but I think it'll work out in the, oh yeah, we can, no, I don't want to move this queen onto that jack because they're the same suit. Let's just stack stuff to the foundation for now, and I think the moves will reveal themselves. Oh wait, no, that's right, okay. For some reason I thought that was an 8, but I forgot I did take the 9. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we moved this queen, and now that queen can be moved, so. Alright, yeah, we won this last game. That's nice. Alright, very nice. I hope you enjoyed Shamrocks. It's very fun, a very fair game, usually winnable, but not trivially easy. This was one of my early favorites when I was first getting into more solitaire games. I played this one a lot before I started to get more interested in harder games. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video.